Hey everybody, Ben for the Bonehead podcast, and we've got some very exciting breaking news for you today. Games Workshop, in an article, have just dropped all the stats and the prices for the Gnome team, including the two brand new special rules for the two brand new positionals in the brand new Blood Bowl team. So why don't we delve in and have a look? But before we move on, if you're listening to this on the podcast or if you're watching the video and you don't want spoilers, then tune out, because if you're waiting to get all the information from the Spike magazine, it might be best to avoid the internet now for the next few weeks. That's your warning into the Gnome roster. Okay, so over on the Games Workshop Warhammer community, the Blood Bowl Gnome team, an interview with the designers. All right, let's zoom in a little bit here. So, a recent reveal has shocked and delighted fans of Nuffle's great game, the all-new Gnome team, who will be hitting the gridiron soon. But how exactly do these diminutive deceivers exercise their own unique brand of Blood Bowl? Well, we caught up with the Blood Bowl rules writer Jay to get the lowdown on these short fellows and their menagerie of woodland creatures. Okay, so Jay says, lovely guy, had a beer with him when we went to Nottingham. A brand new team for Blood Bowl. Gnome teams are in the stunty category, teams where the majority of the players have the stunty trait. Comprising a variety of different gnome positionals alongside woodland foxes and old turn forest treemen, gnome teams provide a fresh experience for players with a unique mix of skills and traits. While they may seem similar to halflings at first glance, though I wouldn't say that to their faces, they actually play quite differently. Where halflings are suited to dodging around the opposition, gnomes are far more aggressive than their moot-based counterparts, making them more funty. All right, we've got a fighty, stunty team, now known as funty. Instead of the dodge skill, gnomes all come with jump up and wrestle as standard. So rump up is standard. This makes them great for sacking the ball carrier to take both players down without causing a turnover. It also helps protect them from being hit and potentially even take down their attacker before hopping up on their turn and trotting off with glee. So, I mean, wrestle is a fantastic skill for, ball sacking. Very useful on a gutter runner. These guys, with the stats revealed now, we know they're going to be strength 2, so strength 2 rump up is going to be fantastic, especially with a stunty player that can get into the cage. It can get to the ball carrier wherever they are, take a 2-die up with wrestle. It's going to be awesome. So the Gnome Lineman, here we go. We've actually got the price and the stats. The bread and butter of any Gnome team, Gnome Linemen are cheap and cheerful. The combination of starting skills can throw a spanner in the works for many opposition players, and coaches will need to be careful when taking on these pint-sized pugilists. If there wasn't enough, Gnome Linemen also come with the right stuff, allowing the teammates to launch them downfield with the ball or use them as missiles to take out the opposition. Okay, so Gnome Lineman, 40k. I will say that chat called it when we did our Speculation Sunday. 40k, 5 movement, 2 strength, edge 3+, passing 4+, armor 7+. That is, if I'm not mistaken, the exact same as the halfling roster. Okay, here we go. Fun stats. Jump up, right stuff, stunty, wrestle. Okay, there's no dodge there. We knew that was going to be the case. So, 40k. We've swapped dodge for wrestle and jump up at the cost of 10k. Okay, jump up is an agility skill. It's not as good as dodge. We know it's not as good as dodge, but let's just say that trades off. These guys are essentially getting 10k for the wrestle skill. This is going to be the most interesting thing in the world. Stunty means they're basically dodging 3+ everywhere, wherever they want to all the time. But not having integral dodge means you're going to be relying very heavily on your team rerolls. But wrestle is going to keep you alive and is really it's going to be a really useful defensive skill. Love that. Old turn forest treemen. Gnomes are very much home within the woods and forests of the old world, and many of their teams would employ the services of a couple of old turn forest treemen to add some much needed power to the line of scrimmage. When not blocking, these bark covered behemoths can be put to good use with their throw teammate trait to launch gnomes here, there and everywhere. Genuinely thought that was going to be, when not blocking, these bark covered behemoths love a good walk along the beach and read spy novels. Forest treeman, 120k, standard treeman stats. Everything else looks pretty standard. That is just a tree man, which is absolutely fine. That's kind of what we expected. Okay, here we go. First of the new positionals. Gnome Beastmaster. This is the Badger Honk Honk lad. Gnome Beastmasters are the glue that holds a gnomish frontline together. As the only player in any team that starts with the exceptional guard skill, Beastmasters can assist their allies with the help of their furred or feathered friends, asterisk, asterisk, which also gives them the extra point of armor value over the rest of their teammates. This is pretty good too. So 55k, 5/2, 3+, 4+, 8+, so 1 extra movement, very similar to the Hefty. And very similar to the Halfling Hefty, there's no right stuff here. They do have jump up, they do have wrestle, they do have stunty, and they have guard. So this is a Gnome Lineman with 1 extra armor and guard for 15k, but they lose right stuff. So if you've played Halflings, if you've played the new roster, and you've ever wanted to throw a Halfling Hefty and gone, oh, I can't, watch out, because you can't do that with the Beastmaster. I think gnomes are going to be a ground game. I think halflings are so cheap you can just yeet them around because they're just there to make it legal for you to run Griff, right? This team looks like this team has players that play the game. Gnome Illusionist. Okay, this is the witch lady, herefore known as the Trickster. Gnome Illusionists are masters of tricks and illusionary magic and use their unique skills to confound their opponents. Their brand new trait, Trickster, allows them to reposition when they are about to be hit by a block action, potentially removing opposition's assists or even forcing an opponent to follow up into a disadvantageous position. So they are 50k, so 10k more than a line gnome. 5/2, 3+, 3+, so an extra passing. Armor is still 7. They've got jump up, stunty, trickster, and wrestle, so no right stuff on the illusionists either. They got 1 better passing and the trickster special skill, which is fully revealed here. So trickster, when this player is about to be hit by a block action or a special action that replaces a block action, with the exception of a block action caused by the ball and chain move special action. So basically, when your dude is about to get hit by a blitz, by a block, by a chainsaw, by a stab, not by hypnogaze, before determining how many dice are rolled, they may be removed from the pitch and placed in any other unoccupied square adjacent to the player performing the block action. The block action then takes place as normal. If the player using this trait is holding the ball and places themselves in the opposition end zone, the block action will still be fully resolved before any touchdown is resolved. All right, this is massive. The trickster skill is massive. So 50k. You got a half. And he got cancelled by Gnome Twitter. Then you got a gnome with the trickster ability, no right stuff. Everything else though is the same. 1 better passing, and they have what the best way to consider this is reverse sidestep. It's pre-block reverse sidestep. Sidestep happens after the block and you move adjacent to you. This happens before the block and you move adjacent to them. So this means you can literally Nightcrawler Bamf the other side. That can be massive. Now, bear in mind, the Illusionists here, very much like the rest of the Gnome team, do not have dodge. So if they get hit, yeah, they've got wrestle. So I think statistically it's very similar, if not exactly the same, that they're not going to get plowed, but it's going to be tricky. It's no good. I say it's no good. It's fantastic if you're a ball carrier and they don't knock you down. The Gnome Illusionist of all the players, although we haven't seen the skill access yet, they're going to have agility. They've got to have agility. These guys with dodge are going to be phenomenal, I believe. Gnome Illusionist, you go to punch them, they bamf the other side of you. You then try and hit them. They've got wrestle. They've got dodge. That's it. If they get dodge, then fantastic. Dodge, then sidestep. These guys are just elusive. There you go. I believe that's a different word than illusionist, but it's similar. That'll do. So we've seen standard gnomes. We've seen standard treemen. We've seen beastmasters with guard. We've seen gnome illusionists with trickster. That leaves us one more positional, the Woodland Fox. Perhaps the most surprising player to be part of the Gnome team is the swift and lithe Woodland Fox. With an MA of 7 and an Edge of 2+, and the stunty trait, these canny canines can dart through opposition's defensive lines with remarkable ease, and with sidestep, they can be incredibly hard to pin down. However, Woodland Foxes also come with the new My Ball trait, which prevents them from willingly giving up the ball no matter how much they are told to drop it. All right, I love this. I love this very much. Having had dogs all my life, I know this very much. I always kind of thought woodlands were more feline than canine, but I guess, I mean, I don't know. Right, Woodland Fox, also 50k, movement 7, chat, you called it, good job. Strength 2, however, that is wonderful. I think that's more than we hoped. Edge 2 plus, passing nothing, armor 6 plus. So armor, trash tier. Dodge, my ball, sidestep, and stunty. So dodge, stunty, edge 2 plus. Oh, we've got a tiny ginger gutter runner. In fact, we've got a pair of them, and I've already picked out names for our Bonehead Championship team because now these rules are out. Oh, we can get planning. In fact, we should be streaming a gnome game tonight now. We were going to stream some Dungeon Bowl. I've got a gnome team that I printed out. Ben's going to try and paint it. Trips and I are going to try and install the new PC and get the cameras up and running. So this evening, we could be seeing gnomes versus Norse if Ben can. Well, we'll do it. We'll do it. Right. Now, they do have a skill called My Ball. This is the canine wonderfulness of this. This is like, if you're a dog owner, you get this. No take, only throw. It's getting a bit shiny outside now. A player with this trait may not willingly give up the ball when in possession of it, and so may not make pass actions, handoff actions, or use any other skill or trait that would allow them to relinquish possession of the ball. The only way they can lose possession of the ball is by being knocked down, placed prone, falling over by the effect of a skill, trait, or special rule of an opposing model. So if the fox gets the ball, he's getting the ball until he stacks it into the ground. The only way you can get the ball off the fox is by strip ball, basically, or punching them in the face. I think that might literally be it. Oh, and you could stab them or chainsaw them again. Basically, unless you knock them down, they've got the ball. But it means they can't do any stretch play. So although they are in every single way the equivalent of tiny ginger gutter runners, they are that you cannot daisy chain them. So this is a movement 7 last ditch attempt, but it is also a movement 7 last ditch attempt that's got sidestep, that's got 2 plus forever. Because 2 plus dodge with stunty, unless you're running through prehensile tail or some diving tackling dudes, that's 2 plus forever. And with an 8 square range, these guys are pretty handy and dandy at scoring. So that's pretty wicked. It's going to absolutely do. It's going to do you a disservice sometimes because you can get stuck with the fox having the ball. But I mean, it's 2 plus dodger with stunty, and it's going to get where you want to go. What's different about gnomes? So gnomes bring a lot of fun and whimsy to the gridiron, where they provide a challenge for existing coaches looking to broaden their Blood Bowl horizons. By being different to other stunty teams, gnomes fit a niche not yet explored within the game. Their unique combination of skills and traits gives the gnome team their tricksy feel. Utilising the gnome illusionists alongside the mass of jump up and wrestle will allow players to get around opposition lines, and the gnome beastmasters will allow gnome teams that better chance to go toe-to-toe with other stronger teams. When it comes to scoring, Woodland Foxes are your go-to piece. Although they cannot give up the ball, there is something very satisfying about watching a wily fox dart through the opposition lines, pick up the ball, and then run into the end zone, no doubt wagging his tail with pure joy. Right, this is a very important note. It is also worth noting that although the gnome team is part of the Halfling Thimble Cup, they are not intended to have access to a cheap Halfling Master Chef. Halflings save their best rates for their own. This will be something that will be addressed in the May Designers Commentary, where it will be clarified that only Halfling teams get the discount for the Halfling Master Chefs. Okay. Right. We have got the stats and we've got the costs for the gnome team. We do not have the skill ups. So we don't know if they're Edge, General. I mean, I think the fact these guys are going to have to be Edge, and I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see the Beastmaster. I don't think they'll get access to Strength or General as a normal, but maybe as a secondary they'll have access to Strength. The Illusionist, probably access to passing based on the fact they've got passing 3+. Again, might just be on a double though. The Fox, I would be inclined to say probably like the Beerball, where you've either got agility and nothing else, or nothing then agility. I think, yeah, we don't know that. That's fine, because actually we can play them out of the box. And with these costs, oh no, you know what we don't have? Oh, we don't have how many players you can take of each of them. Okay, so if we do stream a game tonight, we're going to assume it's 0 to 2 because that's what comes in the box. So we'll do an out-of-the-box game with gnomes. So Woodland Fox, 100k for 2 of them. Gnome Illusionist, 100k for 2 of them. Gnome Beastmaster, 110, so that takes us to 310. Then we had 240 for 2 Treemen, so that's 550 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players. Let's add, what's that, 550, and then we want to add 4 gnomes, 690. Rerolls, we don't know. I think we kind of agreed they'd probably be the same as halflings, so 60. So 3 rerolls. Yeah, that's what we'll roll with. And I think we'll get a game in with these guys tonight. But this is really interesting. I am very excited. This has answered a lot of our questions. It's left us hanging on a few things. We need the skill access. We need the reroll access. And we need to find out if they get access to any other... I was going to say college, any other region other than halflings. But hey, I'm very impressed. And my initial thoughts are Woodland Foxes, tiny ginger gutter runners. The Gnome Illusionist is going to be really interesting. I think very vulnerable. That little BAMF ability can be really, really hard. And I think it's going to be very useful when used to redo the maths of the block. So you can get him out to get away from assists or into assists. Is going to be the best way to get any kind of EV out of that. The other thing, yeah, I'm not so sure. I think that's going to be really, I love positioning skills. Hit and run was fantastic. The Gnome Beastmaster, guard. Okay, I know the article says the guard dude is going to help your other guys punch stuff. This guard guy is going on the line in between 2 treemen to give each of them strength 7 to 3 die block, 3 die block. That is absolutely massive, straight out of the box. Then you've got another Gnome Beastmaster who does have Stunty and Edge 3+. Sure, it's a team reroll, but that's a 3+ anywhere, apart from Prehensile Tail, anywhere into any situation to get a really effective hit on the ball carrier. So your Gnome Beastmaster, although he's only moving 5, swings round, takes a 3+ dodge into a place next to the ball carrier. One of your standard gnomes takes a 3+ dodge into the cage, and maybe you get a 1 die wrestle block. Definitely a 2 die wrestle block, and that is monstrous, and I cannot wait to start this. They are slow, the Fox is wicked. This is a scrappy stunty team. We've got a bunch of rump up, and what do we call it? A funty team. A fighty stunty team. A fun fighty stunty team. A funty team. I'm gonna go. See you later for the live stream. Let's go gnomes. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.